Welcome back to Richo Hobby and Art. In this session, we're going to talk about some more of my pocket knives. This is going to be some of the smaller pocket knives, specifically for manicure sets and just small knives. First one I'm going to look at is this one. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from. Well, I know where I got it from, but I don't know anything more about it. This says USA on the tang. And you might be able to notice that on the handle it says Iowa. And so it may have been a promotional knife of some sort. It's got a mother of pearl handle. Got this from my grandfather, and it originally came with a chain. So I had this little chain attached to it. So sort of this, you could have it, obviously part of a keychain, I'm going to guess. This is a keychain kind of operation. Again, I don't, it's odd that you have the divot cut out down here, but the place to grab the knife is up here. So kind of counterintuitive, I would think. But anyway, that's the first one. And again, it's going to be a manicure or just a basic pen knife, I'm guessing. Next one, it's another one I got from the same grandfather. A small pen knife, two blades, two pen blades. And this one has A.A. Rostere on the tang. I'm not familiar with that company, but obviously it is one. If you know more about that, let me know in the comments. It's got that mother of pearl or kind of that turtle shell appearance of the handle with the pins. Corrosion inside, not surprising. That's the way it goes with these things. They're old. That's the way it is. So, and I've made no attempt to clean or restore these. That's not really my thing. So, I mean, I'm a professional conservator, but when it comes to my own stuff, I don't really go bothering with that. Another one we have is this is another knife from another. This was from my great grandfather. It's rather modern. I'm going to call it an antique because I don't know when he got it, but I know he had it as recently as the late 1980s and 1990s because he had it with him at a nursing home. And so this one is from the Providence Company, and so a little small. It's got just two blades. So your basic knife and your pen knife. Features this sort of oval on the handle. It's a very nice knife, and it's very smooth plastic handle sides. Feels very good in the hands, and so it is a very, very nice knife. Oh boy, the writing is very small on this. I must have used a magnifying glass or something. I cannot read that at all now. So you'll have to take my word for it. We have a couple, again, what I'm going to call manicure knives, because I have no other name for these. If they have a better name, let me know. The first one here came from a grandparent. So it's got sort of a multi-tool, but there is a slotted screwdriver with a bottle opener. And the next blade has, your fingernail file and the pick thing that comes with that. And then, of course, the primary pocket knife. It's kind of a different pocket knife. You notice the blade is just shaped a little differently than you would see on a normal pocket knife. It's more of a straight edge. There is no indication that there was anything attached to the hole, that the hole would have had something for attaching to a keychain. I'm not aware of that. I found it in a box, so that's that one. Now, this one has a little more bells and whistles when it comes to a manicure knife. It's got a lanyard, metal lanyard piece here. I bought this one at an antique store, and I think it's the only pocket knife that I did purchase at an antique store. If you remember from the first video, I said I started this in 1991, or this hobby in 1991. I was probably, I was probably 18 years old back then. I just graduated high school. Didn't have a lot of spending money, so I wasn't going to spend money on knives. So I got this probably for about $10. That was probably the most I wanted to spend, probably not even that. It does have the initials. You can see this TSR or something like that. Obviously it was monogrammed for someone. And it features basic blades. You got your knife. You got your file there. And see if there's something else in here as well. I feel like there's a third blade, but I can't see it. Yes, it's got this funny blade, which again is what makes it a manicure, because this is specific for working with cuticles on your fingers and toes. It's, I think, a cuticle tool. And so that kind of really makes it for that kind of use. But the thing that really separates this, I'm going to have to get the other blade out to put that one back in. What really separates this from the others is that it has this inside. There's a groove in here, and from the groove comes this sort of toothpick scissors arrangement. There must have been a spring in here at one point, which of course it was not in it when I acquired it, but you definitely have tweezers on one side and scissors on the other. And as I said, I bought this in 1991, and it's just amazing that I've kept it with this piece all this time, because every time I handle this thing inevitably just flies right out. There's nothing holding it inside, and so it's just a wonder that it stayed together all these years. So the last one, it's kind of an interesting one. This is from Korium, Japan. It's definitely an antique. It's a multi-tool knife, but it's very small. I mean, you look at the size of my hands and the size of the tool. It has the lanyard. It's got bone handle. The stuff I've seen online, if you look this up, you will see others like it, usually from Worth Point or other Etsy, eBay. They have pictures of it. They show the same knife with the same tools inside, but it's basically, this is what I have, but I don't know how old it is. It gives no information. If you know about this knife, about the Korium multi-tool, let me know. Put it in the comments. So this one's got, it's going to have basically the same tools that you have on a normal multi-tool knife. And you can see there on the tang, it does say Korium, Japan. So you got your big blade and you got your little blade. So here's your big blade, here's your little blade. And then you've got a pair of, oh gosh, there we go. Then you have a pair of scissors, and it still has the spring, which is, to me, is very impressive. Oh, and I will say that this knife I got from a grandparent. So obviously it's going to be in better condition because it's not been passed around, so to speak. Some grandparents were, I guess, some people were a little better with their knives than others. You got your can opener on the right, and you got your bottle opener and slotted screwdriver on the left. And then on the bottom, you've got, I mean, what kind of bottle are you opening with a corkscrew of this size? I mean, it's almost like this thing is kind of a joke. There must have been some use for it somewhere, but the size of these tools are just kind of ridiculous. The middle tool, if I have to pull this out to get to it. There we go. Well, I had it out earlier. Pull it from the side. There we go. Put this guy back. This is a file, fingernail file. I don't think the end of it is supposed to be a screwdriver. Could be, but I just don't think so. And then you have your good old punch, if you remember that from the other videos I did. There's always a punch or a reamer on these things. Again, it's tiny. These are all tiny. You know, what kind of can are you opening with this thing? It is sharp, but I mean, that's just my opinion. So anyway, but it's a very interesting little multi-tool. It's very unique, and so I'm certainly not going to get rid of it. I really do love it. It's just so small and cute. And if you know of these things being used, let me know. And you're always good about letting me know about stuff in the comments, so just keep those coming. So these are the small antique multi-tool and small pocket knives, manicure knives that I have in my collection. And I'm going to have to do another part on and there's just too many to even put in. There we go. I'm going to have to do another part on other small knives that I have, the more modern ones. I was going to do a part on modern knives, but I'm going to have to split that into two because there are large knives and there are small knives. And so look for 2 more parts coming in the coming weeks and months.